Hillary Clinton has an amazing new advocate in the form of Elizabeth Warren. And what I like about this sound from Elizabeth Warren that we're about to play is it's almost like she's spiritually connected to the Majority Report because she's incredibly good at roasting people and has a real taste for political combat. She's actually out on the field demonstrating that she would do a very good role that is traditionally played by the vice presidential running mate in the campaign as a attack dog. But she's in New Hampshire, and she takes this opportunity in the midst of doing her usual routine on Trump, talking about his narcissism, his racism, his pettiness. She sees it as an opportunity to connect that thread with another man of, shall we say, many limits that she defeated in her first major run for political office, in her first run for political office. Let's listen to Elizabeth Warren.
Speaking of the man who is not your senator,
Scotty
I
B.
saw the pictures of Scott Brown sitting in the front row at Donald Trump's Manchester speech earlier this week, pleased as punch with himself. And I hear that Donald Trump is floating Scott Brown as a possible running mate. And I thought, so Donald Trump really does have a plan to help the unemployed. Actually, Scott Brown for vice president makes a certain sense. I mean that. I think of all the expert advice he can offer Donald Trump. Making up lies about me and my family. Saying weird stuff about his beautiful daughter. And let's face it, nobody knows more about losing to a girl than Scott Brown.
Wow.
Think of it as the perfect reality TV show. Celebrity Apprentice meets The Biggest Loser.
All right, first part was great. Last line was a little lame. Some speechwriter got ahead of himself there, but everything else was tight. And I just have to say, as of news time, as of this recording and as of this broadcast, Donald Trump has not panted out Pocahontas in response yet, but I'm sure it will happen soon. That was amazing. Elizabeth Warren not coming out like a Harvard professor.
No,
She's throwing some jabs, and Scotty B there is just like, dude, Jesus, you already beat me. Like, why do you got to be like that? It's like she doesn't give a fuck or something. No fucks given. Speaking of which, my daughter's hot, and so is Donald's daughter in a certain sense. And like, people give us all this like problems for like pointing it out, but I'm just like, I'm just saying, dude. What do you want? Like, you want like an ugly daughter? Everybody's so politically correct. You can't say like, hey, have you seen my daughter in a bikini? She looks wicked hot. And then everybody all of a sudden is like, oh, you're mean to Muslims and whatnot. And all of a sudden, I used to do an impression of the Korean guy that used to own the laundromat, and I used to like pull my ears back and like my eyes and whatnot. And now you can't do it, and you can't say your daughter's a piece of ass. I mean, I don't want to live in that America anymore.
I just want to register. I like that Warren's doing that, but I'd much rather she was not just bashing Trump. Like, like there's better use of her, the issue she's enthusiastic about.
That's right. She needs to, I mean, especially with reports like from that guy, the CME guy, there is still very, 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 I mean, she needs to jab and push Hillary into a corner on Wall Street inequality, because they have different politics, and I don't agree at all that people are saying Elizabeth Warren, you're going to disown her, all this. She was always going to endorse the Democratic nominee, and I understand the calculation she made. Of course, I wish she endorsed Bernie. I think it would have made a difference, but the reality is that she made a cautious, totally understandable decision to not endorse either of them, which in the context of the establishment and of the Senate and of her colleagues is a tip of the hat somewhat to Bernie. Regardless, she was always going to endorse the nominee, and there's nothing wrong with her playing an attack dog role, but I do agree that if she wants to maintain her iconic and important and well-earned credibility, she needs to start connecting it back with the policy. I agree with you.
Well, perhaps she thinks that she'll have time to she'll have plenty of time to pressure Hillary, and now's the time to go after Trump.
Yeah,
That's a timing
On
thing.
a side note, I guess I know that I don't know as much about Scotty B's history. I was wondering why, when I was looking for images for video, and when I Googled him, that there were so many pictures of his daughters in bikinis. I was like, why can't I just...
Because she's hot.
It was so weird. I was like, I just need a picture of this guy. Why are there so many daughter pictures? But now I guess he...
because she's a mega babe.
I guess because he said that at some point, right?
Yeah. Dude. Why are there pictures of hot girls on the internet?
It's
I don't
just
know.
the first stuff that comes up.
Do
like
I need to meet with
It's
kings and
odd.
queens to know the answer to that? Jesus, dude. AGS.
Hello, you. I'm Sam Seder. Looking for smart progressive talk that is occasionally amusing? Well, subscribe to our YouTube feed. Subscribe to our podcast. Like us on Facebook. And just generally enjoy us.